All right, today we're diving into a really remarkable passage from the Quran, verses 130 to 143 of Surah Al-Imran. Now, this isn't just a piece of history. You could almost call it a psychological roadmap for how to build resilience after a total crisis. We're going to explore how these verses lay out a four-step plan for recovery, and believe me, it starts in a very unexpected place.
I mean, think about it. It's a question every single society has to face at some point, right? Whether it's a natural disaster, an economic collapse, or a crushing defeat, finding the way back is never easy. And what's so amazing is that this passage offers a surprisingly detailed and layered answer to that exact problem.
So, to really get this, you have to picture the scene. This was revealed right after the Battle of Uhud. The early Muslim community had just suffered a huge military loss, and it sent them into a spiral. We're talking immense psychological and social turmoil. Their confidence was completely shattered, and the grief was just overwhelming. And it's in that exact moment of crisis that the Quran delivers this step-by-step recovery plan. Now, here's what's so fascinating. Where does this recovery plan begin? You might expect a big pep talk, or maybe some new military strategy. But nope, it starts with economics. Step 1 is all about fixing the community's internal financial health. Right out of the gate, verse 130 comes in with a clear-cut rule against usury, or riba. Basically, any system of multiplying wealth that preys on people's needs. The Quran is pointing to this as a fundamental weakness. The message seems to be that economic selfishness eats away at the social glue you need to survive a crisis. You just can't build real strength on a foundation of internal exploitation.
And this is the alternative that verse 133 lays out. It's a pretty stark choice, isn't it? Instead of the worldly race to stack up wealth at someone else's expense, the Quran calls believers to a totally different kind of competition, a race towards forgiveness and paradise. And that word, race, is so important. It implies this active, urgent effort, not just sitting back and waiting.
Okay, so once the economic foundation is set straight, the focus zooms in, shifting from the community as a whole to the individual. Because let's face it, if you want a strong society, you need strong individuals. And the Quran lays out this really clear blueprint for the character of a resilient person.
Verse 134 gives us three main pillars. First up is consistent generosity. And that means giving not just when you're doing well, but even when you're struggling. That's how you build a real safety net. Second, it's about emotional management. It's not about suppressing anger, but about actively controlling it. And third, social repair, making forgiveness a core part of who you are, which is absolutely essential for healing the little fractures in a community that's under a ton of stress.
But here's the thing. The Quran is also deeply realistic about people. Verse 135 totally gets that we're going to make mistakes, we're going to mess up. The important part is what you do next. The solution isn't to be perfect, it's a process. Remember God, ask for forgiveness, and, this is key, don't keep doing it. It's like a psychological reset button, which is so vital for a community dealing with collective trauma and guilt.
So we've covered the economy and the individual. Now the Quran pulls the camera way, way back to reframe the entire experience of defeat. And this is where the psychology of resilience just gets fascinating.
Verse 137 basically tells the community, hey, look at history. The idea is that these events, they're not random, they're not meaningless. According to the Quran, history operates on these divine laws or patterns, called sunan. This perspective lifts them out of their immediate pain and helps them see their situation as just one part of a much bigger, more purposeful story.
And then you get this. Wow. This is one of the most powerful lines in the whole passage. Verse 139 is a direct command against despair. It hits the two main symptoms of defeat, that feeling of weakness and just deep sadness, and it counters them with this radical new way of thinking about victory. The main point? Real superiority isn't about winning a battle, it's about the quality of your faith.
To explain how this all works, verse 140 introduces this amazing concept, the turning of days. The Quran is saying that power, victory, defeat, none of it is permanent. These things are circulated, they're passed around among different groups of people. And what's the point of this whole cycle? To test people and to reveal who has real conviction versus who's just a fair-weather believer.
And building on that, verse 141 presents hardship as a process of temhis, which means purification. So in this way of looking at things, defeat isn't just a loss. It's a necessary, transformative fire. Its purpose is to cleanse the community of its faults, to purify its intentions, and to make its collective faith even stronger. It's the trial that proves your belief is the real deal. And that brings us to the final step in this roadmap to recovery. And it's a sobering, really powerful conclusion that forces a moment of some serious self-reflection. This is the shocking finale of the passage.
Verse 143 holds up this brutally honest mirror to the community. You see, before the battle, a lot of them had this romantic idea of martyrdom. They were almost wishing for it. But when they were faced with the grim, terrifying, real version of combat, they were shaken. This verse is this powerful gut check, and it measures the distance between the ideals we talk about when we're comfortable and how we actually act when crisis hits.
And so, this entire passage leaves us with this final, profound question. It really suggests that the ultimate test of a person or an entire community isn't the strength of the ideals they talk about when life is easy. It's the depth of the character they reveal when everything falls apart, a timeless lesson on what true resilience is all about.